Well, all right, let's go.
Oh, those were the good old days. Uncle Walt gave us Mickey Mouse, Snow White, and Mary Poppins. But Mickey was his favorite. He even called Mickey his alter ego. We've all got friends who are Disney aficionados, and you might even be one of them yourself. These fans go to the park at least once a year, can recite entire films, can breeze through a game of Disney trivia, and may even have an incredibly authentic character outfit. If Walt Disney is remembered for anything, it's for the animation that helped to make America feel at once small and large, full of wonder and completely impenetrable. From Cinderella to Snow White, you can draw a line from Disney's earliest work to its current media empire. But how did the company that was founded just over 100 years ago come to dominate an industry that grew with it? Hello and welcome back to Success Stories. In this video, we'll explore Walt Disney's ascent to prominence, both as a person and as a business, and Disney's phenomenal success. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. A combination of skill, ambition, and luck put Walt Disney on the path to discovering animation. A childhood illness made him a dreamer and an adventurer who thought about making movies rather than counting sheep. From a small ice cream shop in New York City to Disneyland, Disney has come a long way. Walt Disney Pictures is the world's leading producer of filmed entertainment and the studio behind such films as Beauty and the Beast and Frozen. Its major theme parks include Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, Disneyland Resort Paris, Hong Kong Disneyland, Tokyo Disney Resort, and Disneyland Park in the heart of Shanghai. We're talking about Disney, and it's impossible to not bring in Mickey Mouse. Did you know Wayne Allwine, the actor who gave Mickey Mouse's voice for more than 30 years, was married to Russi Taylor, the actress who voiced Minnie? Clearly, Uncle Walt has not just made our childhood memorable, but their love story too. Setting forth again and again. Walt Disney, like many other creative talents, began his career working for others. Walt returned from driving for the American Ambulance Corps in World War I in 1919, hoping to work as an artist. He discovered it at the Pesmen-Rubin Commercial Art Studio, where he met and became friends with Ubbe Iwwerks. Iwwerks proved to be one of the world's most talented animators, and he was instrumental in Walt's eventual success. Walt and Iwwerks were both out of work at the beginning of 1920, so they attempted to build their own studio. This first venture quickly flopped, and the couple went to work for compensation at Film Ad Company, where they worked in the commercial shorts that were aired before the films. Before long, they started collaborating on side projects that blossomed into Laugh-O-Grams, a collection of hilarious shorts. Walt and Iwwerks reunited and transformed Laugh-O-Grams into a business. However, the venture failed once more in 1923, at which point Walt left for Hollywood. The Disney Brothers. Perhaps Walt's most underappreciated talent was persuading others to believe in his vision. Without Iwwerks, Walt persuaded his brother Roy to join him in establishing Disney Brothers Studio, eventually renamed Walt Disney Studio. Sure enough, Walt quickly persuaded Iwwerks to return to work with him as well. Learning hard lessons. The Walt Disney Studio was no more profitable than its predecessors, but it was still in business. The business was inventing a character called Oswald the Lucky Rabbit for Universal Pictures. In 1928, Walt and Roy were surprised to learn that, with the exception of Ubbe Iwwerks and a few others, all of their animators had been hired away by one of the persons he was dealing with at Universal. To make matters worse, Universal owned the rights to Oswald. Walt was disheartened by the event and vowed to slowly work for himself in the future. Walt began looking for a new character to send his pictures straight to distributors. The Mouse. The origins of Mickey Mouse are disputed. Claims range from a waste paper basket in Kansas to Iwwerks browsing through animal images and doodling. Mickey Mouse, in whatever form he took, represented the beginning of Disney as we know it. Walt put together a new team to collaborate with Ubbe on this new character. The first two pictures were flops, but the third, Steamboat Willie, was a smash hit. It was also the best early example of a film in which sound and animation were synchronized. As the company pushed the frontiers of animation, being on the cutting edge of technology became par for the course. During the next decades, during the Great Depression, Disney produced the first color cartoons and the first animated feature-length film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Disney's IPO. The cost of these groundbreaking pictures were so high and the margin so thin that a poor box office performance could still sink the studio. Walt and Roy began 1940 with several fantastic pictures, but a lot of debt. From 1923 to 1938, the Disney Brothers collaboration was divided into 4 firms, each of which was successful to varying degrees before being merged into one in 1938. Walt Disney Productions was the firm name that remained, and on April 2, 1940, Walt Disney Studios issued 155,000 shares of 6% convertible preferred stock. This over-the-counter offering raised around $3.875 million for the company. However, the brothers quickly found themselves back in debt when box office receipts for films that we now consider masterpieces, such as Bambi, Fantasia, and Cinderella, remained low. This is not to suggest they were not effective, they were simply prohibitively expensive to produce. Instead of slowing down, Walt sought to accomplish more. Buena Vista, the brothers' distribution company, was founded, and they began producing high-margin nature films. Walt began to develop dreams of the perfect amusement park, but it was a risk his company couldn't take. Still, Walt diversified Disney's history by gradually adding commercial segments to its core animation studio. Disneyland. A lot of financial wrangling was required to establish the happiest place on earth, and Walt made it happen. Walt needs significantly more funds even after launching a private corporation with a loan from his own life insurance. He had himself to offer, but he did so deftly. Walt established a second private corporation to own the merchandising rights to his name. Walt had his funding, and ABC had a show that became a cultural sensation with millions of viewers. The show, originally titled Disneyland, but with several titles over the years, ran for 29 years. Disneyland launched in 1955 and quickly became a big hit. Walt Disney Productions obtained Disneyland over the next 5 years by purchasing Walt's own company, as Walt died in 1966. Mary Poppins, one of his final films, was the highest-grossing film in 1964. The bottom line. Outsized personalities and towering figures abound in financial history. The man and the firm Walt Disney were birds of a different feather. Only by constantly innovating and pushing the boundaries of not only animation but also what Disney became as a business was the company able to transition from a moderately successful animation studio to a full entertainment experience, complete with theme parks, merchandising, cruise ships, and so on. In a quote often attributed to Walt Disney, a Disney Imagineer once said, "If you can dream it, you can do it." When you have an idea, you have to keep dreaming about it until you make it a reality, and Walt's story shows us how to do that. Walt's life and the establishment of his company serve as a cautionary tale that you can't rest on your laurels after the first inspiration has been generated. People are so obsessed with Disney that Disney parks are popular places to scatter human ashes. His life, without a doubt, may teach entrepreneurs valuable lessons even now. Tell us about your favorite Disney character or memory in the comments below. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching, friends. We look forward to seeing you again in our next video.